Gamers, it is 6:30, which means I am live. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today's my first stream where I'm expected to stream after a full day of work, and I am frankly beat. I don't have a whole lot of energy to actually focus on playing League for the next 3-4 hours. So, one of my streaming idols, Ludwig, has recently started coming back to playing League. And mainly for selfish reasons, I want to do a quick VOD review of his game and give some tips to see where he would do better and maybe some other players if they're a little bit newer. But it is all for selfish reasons. I am not delusional enough to believe that someone as big as Ludwig, for one, wants someone to critique his games, or that he doesn't have access to the entire League community to get proper coaching if you wanted it. But I've been playing this game since season 1, on and off, and there's a lot of pitfalls that a lot of newer players fall into, and unfortunately a lot of things that a lot of experienced players neglect to mention because they don't have to think about that when they're playing the game. The game is very different when you've been playing it every year since season 1 versus playing it for the first time in season 12, 13, 14, wherever we're in now. It's a lot. So maybe I'll have a unique perspective because I tend to be pretty good at explaining things to the point where hopefully everyone can understand what's going on. But yeah, so we will be playing on Thing 1 today. Just again, looking for those Victorious skins. I only need to play 8 games. And once I finish on Thing 1, I get to then grind my main out until the end of season and hopefully at Diamond. But yeah, let's go ahead and go in with the Ludwig VOD review. I have set up a lovely new scene for it. Now, he plays 8 games in the time in this stream. In his 6 hours he streamed, he played 8 games. I've watched bits and pieces of some of them, but I need a number between 1 and 8 that we're going to VOD review. So if anyone in chat wants to put a number from 1 to 8, if anyone's here, I doubt anyone is, if I'm honest. Or I'll just use a random number generator. Jade says number 4. So we're going to find game number 4. This is game... Wow. How the... Oh, wait. It's 7 minutes. Okay, hold on. Wait, this should be the start of game 4. I randomly clicked. Okay, so I know earlier in the stream he was duoing with his friend Stans. And it appears at this point he has stopped duoing. Why is that Discord thing showing up? Oh, it's his. Whoops. Okay, so yeah. Once again, hello. You know what? I'm going to reset. Pause. Because it's going on YouTube, I'm going to get a good intro going. Hello, everyone. My name is Nayrethian. I stream on Twitch daily, and I've been playing League since season 1. Ludwig, and by extension Cutie, I've been watching since before they were together, and I've been watching Ludwig just before he won a Pokemon tournament and kind of got huge on YouTube. I've been watching Cutie since the Rod Schiller. Or sorry, back then it was... no, it was the Rod Schiller back then. So I've enjoyed these two creators, and now they're obviously together. But Ludwig is my stream idol. He's the person that I pretty much want to be like if I could ever become popular streaming. Now, I am a Diamond League player who only really comes back every season to hit Diamond and then logs off. I've never tried to go any higher. I've been playing on and off since season 1. I took a break around season 7 and came back around season 10. But I did at least place gold in all those. And Ludwig has played something like a dozen games of League in his career. He's always been more of a Smash Bros. Player or a Valorant enjoyer. Both things I am not good at nor I enjoy, but I enjoy watching. Now, we're going to go ahead and watch this lovely, lovely game he plays in solo queue, and we're going to see if we can't get some tips and tricks. I am not nearly delusional enough to think that Ludwig needs or wants a random person on the internet's input, because his chat probably does that more than enough. But, and frankly, he has the entire catalog of any league coach or streamer that he could ask for help at. But one thing that I am good at is hopefully breaking down things and showing things in a way that everyone can understand if you are new or even playing this game for the majority of your life like I have. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. So Ludwig, this game, is playing a Momo. Now, it's always kind of baffled me that Ludwig has gravitated towards the jungle role because he's a Smash Bros. Player. And most people I know that love playing fighting games really enjoy top lane because, while it was a 1v1 plus. So typically players that like the 1v1 games like top lane more. But I understand that he might gravitate towards jungle because it is very unique to League of Legends. And it is chess-esque. But yeah, so he's playing a Momo. His top lane's Riven. Mid lane Akali. Bot lane is Ezreal Xerath. Someone has switched on their team, or I think they have a troll. I think Jade picked a bad game. I think they have a top lane Yumi, a jungle Jarvan, Vex mid, and then Jhin, Anivia bot. Unless Anivia's top lane and they swapped. But let's see how this goes.
Like this underworld, which actually, like, and Fiddlestick's actually a roaming spirit. He's not evil, but I don't understand shit. I don't understand shit. At Cadril, played possibly the greatest anyone has played in Iron League Q.
Okay, let's skip this so they can load. Again, he does have like Cadril and a bunch of well-known content creators that he can pull from, but okay, so his sound is a little low. I don't want it to be very loud. I want it to be much quieter than me. But okay, we're gonna pause here. The first thing I would always say is that his UI is absolutely huge. One thing about League is that it does an absolutely... Oh no, I've ruined it. Uh-oh. Fixing. It does an awful job at showing you how your settings are supposed to be. So we will jump into game afterward to show that how to fix this. But this is kind of crazy that it is so... It's huge. And his minimap is tiny. But we are going to just continue on. And this is on ×2 speed because I am ADD, so I'll fix that. Okay, so in this kind of game, Riven is a super volatile lane. And the problem is that he has no way of knowing that. If you're coming into League in 2024, you have no freaking way of knowing what all 160 some champions do. Which is a huge barrier to entry.
Who's that motherfucker, the green guy from the old Cartoon Network show?
I'm assuming he's just talking to chat at this point, but yeah, so Momo, jungle,
No, not the
very strong jungler right now. You want to be rushing Faded Ashes as much as possible.
Not Shrek, no.
Just to get your clear as fast as possible.
Guy. Yeah, I look like Invader Zim on School Picture Day or some shit.
He does look like Invader Zim. See, he's already doing a pretty fantastic thing that no one else would do.
You got thids? You got thids, bro? What'd that mean?
And I not ask for a leash. If you are not leashing as a Momo, starting Wraiths, or I'm sorry, chickens, Razorbeaks, whatever you want to call it now, is actually a pretty viable path.
Am I supposed to do
You
my
don't
W
always have to start at your blue. But not getting leash is pretty good. I personally like to start W, although I think E is just as fast. One of the good things about being a jungle main is that you can actively practice your first clear only by yourself. So to answer his question, you should always smite the blue guy so that you get your second ability faster so that your next clear will be faster. Also, for the unlikelihood that you get invaded at your blue, you have it secured by the time that the enemy jungle will make it there. So he smites Gromp, which is fine. And he's doing an okay job at kiting. A more recent thing that I have been doing, or that a lot of players have been doing when they're jungling, is that they don't buy their first potion. That 50 gold, after you full clear and grab Scuttle, actually puts you at exactly 900 gold if you don't buy a pot, so that you can buy your Faded Ashes on your first back without any need to interact with the opponent. Of course, as long as you can get Scuttle, but you can probably get top or bottom Scuttle, or at least try to. All right, he's gonna Q over the wall, which is good.
Can you? Are there audio cues in this game? So like, I swore I could have heard someone going to the Void Grumps last game, but I don't know if I was like making that shit up.
So there is sometimes a bug where you can hear through Fog of War, and that's what I think what he's asking. So far as clear is okay. It's a little bit slow. I am very curious as to what the fastest Amumu jungle clear is, and maybe he should go ahead and practice a bit some of it, because that's something you can do alone. It's like aim labs if you want to compare it to Valorant. He used his smite, and typically you want to keep this smite for that Scuttle Crab if you can all help it. Okay, so now he seems like Riven's pinging for help, so he's going to go help. He's low elo, so it's in a position that if you don't help, your player's probably going to quit. One thing he's not doing, he's not looking. Yeah, he's doing an okay job of looking, but he's not pinging. There's this wonderful
He knows I'm here. I leave.
coach by the name of Nice, who kind of got kicked off the platform, who coined the term Pinglish. So being able to communicate with pings is invaluable. So you can see by the health bar of that Scuttle Crab that the champion was just here. So maybe if he didn't walk top, he could have contested this. Or maybe if he was slightly better at clearing. Oh no. Is he going to go take the whole top wave? Okay. So the best play here would just be to recall and to walk down to your Gromp. This is a very questionable play that if I was the Riven, I'd be a little pissed at him. So we're going to pause and talk about this. Okay. So the best play here, you lost your Scuttle Crab, so you have a choice. You can either walk down to the bottom Scuttle Crab down here. It's really hard to see on his minimap. And I wish I could have had a draw thing, but I don't. But you can walk down to the second Scuttle Crab because one always spawns on both sides of the map. So you could walk through mid and try and get that. The other option is to recall and then set up for your second clear. So you can see that he has Blitz, which is fantastic. And he has 5 seconds left in his Gromp. So he could have recalled, bought an item, or even sold his pot and bought an item. If he didn't buy a pot, he would have had enough for Ashes, or pretty darn close to it. Then he walks down and does a second clear. And then hopefully maybe something else is open. Top, mid, or Dragon up that he can go ahead and fight for. I forget, I think it was this season. Sorry. This season, if you have Smite, you gain like 30% experience from lane minions or something along those lines. I'll double check the numbers. But you gain significantly less experience than any other laner would that does not have Smite. So him doing this is effectively making 70% of this XP that he's getting like to poof. Like no one is getting this XP because he has Smite. Now, of course, Riven had to take a bad recall, probably because she got poked out. But she did an okay thing, which is recall on a cannon wave. So when this cannon touches the tower, and he knows what the cannon is, this is the big one that he's clicking on right now. This cannon takes 7 to 8 tower shots for it to die. Which means that by the time Riven comes back, she's probably only lost the cannon wave and maybe 2 other minions. This other, the 90% of the rest of the wave is still going to be there for her. And while he does get some gold from it, I would be pretty pissed if I was this Riven. Now, of course, he has no way of knowing that he's getting reduced XP because the game doesn't tell him and probably no one's putting it out to him. So, like, from a game sense standpoint, this is a very good game sense, but not in League of Legends Season 14, unfortunately. So he should recall here and grab Faded Ashes. Faded Ashes does bonus damage to mobs, like to creeps and monsters, and it speeds up your clear immensely. So he buys boots and cloth. Okay, he probably just doesn't know that. I bet you on Blitz, it has boots as his first item. So he's just doing what Blitz is telling him to do, which in most cases is okay.
Get TP instead of Ignite. It's my fault because he got fucking Ignite?
I think he's asking, people in chat were saying why did he take the camp? Chat is kind of right in this sense. Again, because we discussed that Riven really wouldn't have lost all the creeps. And by him taking it makes him lose a lot. So I always like to do... Actually, the Wolves and the Grump is okay, because you can kind of snake it over the wall. I don't have anything to complain about here. He's looking, which is good. He is very a lock-screened gamer, which is extremely hard to like change from. I get it. And he's using Sweeper properly. Very good. And the second scuttle was up. The enemy didn't take it. So Riven's being ganked up. There's very little pings going on. I don't know if he has pings muted. Or something else. So again, if you wanted to look mid, he needs to be pinging. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here.
Oh, nice.
Ended up working out. Again, this case is okay because these would all disappear by the time the mid laner can get back, but still not great. I would be definitely taking chickens or maybe running over to the grubbies. So he's kind of meandering around bot side, which is okay, but his whole top side is missing, is still up. And that's a lot of standing gold on the map. So he's that as a solo dragon, which is okay. So I want to talk about ward placements, because this isn't the best place you can place your ward. League is unfortunately about how to use like your time and your gold the most efficiently as possible. So if you put your ward here, if an enemy puts a normal trinket ward anywhere around here, and they're ranged, they can shoot it over the wall. So you're effectively, this ward is nullified. Like there's nothing, this ward's going to get taken down extremely quickly. Instead, if you place the ward where my mouse is here, like where the dragon's back is, or over here, the enemy can't hit it from this side of the wall. So the only way they can destroy it is if they walk around and then decide to take it. They can take it about here if they're ranged. But still, that brings them so much closer to you and in a way better position to either catch them or cause a team fight. By putting it there, it's going to get destroyed, and someone else is going to have to put a pink if you want to make sure it's pinked. Putting it close to the wall is not great, and should only be used if you are coming from the blue side and you need vision immediately, or you want vision immediately. But he bought a pink, which is great, because everyone knows that Iron players know that wards don't do damage, so people don't buy wards. So this is still reasonable, but we can optimize it a little bit more. You see right here. See what I'm saying? Jhin can hit the ward. Not that it mattered in this case, but if they're slower to react, this could be a problem. I wanted to see if he did one thing. Uh-oh. Did I go forward? Uh-oh. What have I done? No. I think I clicked back. Shoot. Sorry. So, when you are doing Dragon... Hey, Glitch, how are you? We're doing a Ludwig VOD review. So, one thing you want to do when you're smiting is that you always want to do your best to couple it with another ability. So, in the case of Mumu, if you want to Q or E and smite at the same time, this makes it much harder for your opponent to then steal the dragon. My favorite example of this is Nunu Q. If you Nunu Q and smite, that is something like 2,400 damage in one tick, like in one damage dealt if you can time it right. Nothing in the game can outdamage that. So Nunu is incredibly good at securing dragons in that way because no one can outdamage it. In this case, his E's probably doing about 200 plus smite, like 800 damage of a smite, probably maybe 750-ish. And that's something you have to just practice and be aware of. I don't think he's going to do it, but I hope at least he smites it. So kind of. He definitely could have been a little more clean with it. He could have, you know, but again, it's just practice and knowing, right? It's no one's gonna, the game's not going to teach you to do that. That's something that you have to have someone to talk to you about or say something. Ooh, so I think he rushed his Q quite a bit. He can be a little more patient. I don't know if he has quick cast or with indicators or I guess it must be normal cast then. But he obviously doesn't know because, you know, there's 140 champions. But Jarvan uses mobility. So you can take your time a little bit, be calm, and take your time to hit your skill shot. It might not have mattered because that fight probably didn't look very good, but you don't have to rush your skill shot all the time.
All right, I do my bot camp. I do my bot camp.
Man, his topside camps have been up for like 3 minutes at this point.
I back.
Which, they got Dragon, it's fine. It's just very weird seeing all this standing camps. And maybe that's just a problem with my jungling. Like, I will probably not do much if my camps are up.
What can I buy? I can buy 600 for my boots and then 900.
So Faded Ashes is the item he definitely should have bought first, the 900 when he bought first. Like the first time he backed, but this is okay. At least he's buying it.
My top camp. Ooh, Yumi's on mid. Yumi gave up on bot. So our bot looks decent, right? So I don't need to gank for them, right?
I think Yumi is just trolling at this point.
Like if
or
Yumi
they're a
gave
bot,
up
I have no
fucking
clue.
Bot? Do I let bot do their, like, if they're crushing?
So basically there's nothing on the map for him to do besides farm, and he's doing exactly that. Maybe he could pop his head over and see if Scuttle's there to see if it's worth to like steal it. I like to think of Scuttle as like the cannon minion of the jungle. Because if you can get it, you always want to take it, and you know, you're effectively taking away from your opponent as well. So it's kind of like a two-way swing, that you get something and you take it away from your opponent. So you can kind of see it as like a +2 advantage. He's doing a good job using the sweeper, and now I think he's looking top. I hate how he is lock cam so hard, because I have a feeling that Anivia is just waiting in the bush and shouldn't actually back. Scuttle's there, perfect. Bot lane's doing well. Okay, it's very sketchy doing this, because he just saw that his mid lane backed, and he's backing off and making a correct play. But you never really want to be in that position where the enemy can come harass you or potentially kill you, because your mid lane had to back. But he is doing his best to clear the wards, again, in a kind of a sketchy way. He's wasting a lot of time, because he can't really fight for that vision right now, because Akali she had to back, obviously. He knows that's warded. Okay, okay, this is Iron after all. Okay, Jarvan's probably gonna kill him. If he was quick with the flash, he might have been able to flash away. The lock camera's not doing him any favors. The huge UI and the lock camera's not doing him any favors, unfortunately. But yeah, he definitely could have gone to Grubbies instead of trying to make a play mid. Actually, the whole time he was fighting for vision, he probably could have been looking at Grubbies.
So I think Void grubs his rip.
And now it looks like his top lane wants to... No, you just give those Void grubs.
Maybe? Why did he run through that bush? What a stupid bush to have run through.
Oof.
What a dead-ass stupid bush to have run through. I mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but surely you don't run through the bush where you know people are there. No, we're not taking the fucking Void grubs.
You're having your UI huge just takes up so much screen real estate that you don't need.
Come play with me.
I don't know if that was worth it, per se.
Okay.
His farm is surprisingly good for being Iron. The problem with Iron is that just so much fighting happens unnecessarily. And unless you're kind of there to, like, back everyone up, it kind of sucks. So Dragon is up. And I'd be pinging to, like, get vision, to do anything, right? Like, he needs to be pinging about twice as much as he's pinging. He also clicks, right now is okay, but he clicks pretty far away from his champion, which is something that, like, isn't intuitive to, like, most other games besides League. The closer you click to your champion, the more control you have over your champion.
Where's the bitch ass
When you
turtle?
click far away, your champion isn't as reactive.
Where the bitch ass turtle at?
It also, there's more space for your mouse to move, like, behind you and to your side to side in the event that you need to dodge. This Yumi is trolling. Dodge. Okay, do you see how slowly he went in like a circle.
All day.
Instead of just going right next to his champion and making like a stark, like,
All right, one for
juke
all,
left,
hey.
he like curved himself all the way over. It ended up working out, but if you click closer to your champion, that happens less. You can compare it to Valorant, how you want to hold angles in a certain way, so that you, when they peek out, their head's gonna be right in your cursor, right? Similar thing in League, that you want to position your cursor in a way that you can, like, essentially like swipe, not swipe. What is it in shooting games? It's not swiping. Oh my god, I can't think about it right now. Jesus Christ, I can't do it.
No, I go back.
Just you can react faster effectively if you click closer to yourself. This game's looking okay so far. His oh my god, I can't talk. His itemization's doing okay. You don't actually have to finish the Andres if you don't want to. Sitting on Faded Ashes is perfectly fine. It is a very efficient item for jungling. Every single AP jungler should be picking up Faded Ashes. It just increases your clear speed by so much. And I think he's using normal cast, and I think that's okay. I am a big, like, I love my quick cast, but I also have like a modifier on my mouse that allows me to use normal cast so I can see exactly how long of the range I need in the case that I need to be very accurate. It's a very ambitious Q, but it was very close. I think it was a pretty good play. I think he might have been able to go to that play a little bit faster, but it worked out. He's going for Rift Herald while Vex is overextending. I probably would have looked to Vex first, but Akali is low. You always want to make sure that your lanes are in positions to help you if you're going to do these objectives. So you see how top lane is pushed towards enemy tower? Effectively, that forces the enemy top laner to be stuck under tower if they want that XP. Or if they come help, they lose that XP.
Nice try, brother. Nice try, brother.
Mid lane's very far away.
Nice try, brother. Hey, nice try,
So she can't help, and that's why Vex came, but you have Xerath. But now you're in a 2v2 that effectively could have been a 4v2 if your lanes wanted to come, or if you communicated correctly. If you ping, we've already discussed Pinglish. If you ping your intentions,
I'll take that shit all day. The cleanup crew.
the League is kind of like trying to drive a freaking car.
Get that kill, though, actually.
Use your signals. Ping. And if people don't listen, ping some more.
I don't understand.
If you think your play is right, you ping. And if you're wrong, that's okay. At least you made a decisive call that not a lot of other people are doing.
Suffering for each second. Oh, shit. Got that, bitch.
Well, he's just learning what Leandres does now, which is fun.
I'm still standing better than I ever did. All right, I need to push a wave. No, to use my. Let's try to get this mid tower, right? This mid tower is weak.
So at this point, he should be farming his jungle. He has 3 camps up and waiting for his R to be up before making a play. While Amumu is semi-useful without his R, he is a press R champion. You need your R to, like, make the actual great plays. He wanted to rush. Okay, well, it's just an ARM apparently. He wanted to rush Herald, which is fine, and he has no way of knowing this, but Anivia can block Herald.
Where's Herald? What are you doing? Hit the fucking tower.
The same way that Bard can.
Dipshit.
But again, if this is his first time seeing it,
What the hell?
he has no way of knowing. Yeah,
What
so
was that?
when you're sieging mid, You want to do your best to have both sides of the river covered with wards.
Okay, I did not know you could block the Rift Herald. This is new information.
So you can see
wish I
that
had
someone in his team
known.
has already warded the
I
the
would've
bottom
just
side of
fucking
mid,
Summoned him.
which means that you want to hug that bottom side of mid.
Anivia can make
He
a
went
wall.
top side to probably do his top camps, but he has no vision of
Is
them.
this a crazy question? Is that an iron play that we just witnessed?
Yes, it was an iron play.
That's just a typical iron play to wall up and block that shit? Iron.
Oh, no.
Iron.
It's people. Anivia players just know that's a thing. Anivia players know they can wall it off. Same with Bard players. So Dragon's up, so he should go and get positional coverage
No. Oh, it's not there yet.
of Dragon. You want to be there about 30 seconds before it spawns. But what the more important is that you're there with your team. So even if you are there early and you get caught before dragon spawns, that's on you. You got to be moving with your team to take this dragon, or to make a play around dragon before it spawns. So them getting a pick mid is huge and basically guarantees that they should get this dragon. Now he's smote, which I guess is okay because he has 2 things of it. But it's something I'd be wary of. I don't know if he knew that he had 2 or he just smote because he wanted to.
All right, we have to go.
You have to ward there on the ocean map, or else they can get vision, which is fine. We already discussed that on a non-ocean map, that's probably not the best place to ward, but on ocean, it's perfect. Very good. I don't know if this Xerath can do anything. He has another Q. He could have queued a little faster, but he's doing a good job. I wouldn't have done almost anything differently there. That's very well done.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, I might be in trouble here.
Like, so Akali isn't moving, and I don't know if it's because he's not pinging what he wants to do, or Akali's just stupid. Could be either.
How did he know where I was? Was that just
Um,
obvious? Was I stupid as fuck? Maybe
Yeah. That's rough. If like I feel like this is perfectly fine
Yes, her
if the
ult.
team just all rotates the dragon, but also he could be taking the initiative and pinging dragon.
Yeah, but the accuracy of where I was in the bush. I knew he knew I was in the bush. It was the accuracy. As ult? As ult? As ult?
Obviously knows what Ezreal R is, but Ez does have R. He didn't even try. Ez could have W'd R
Alright,
and maybe stole
what
it,
do I
but
get, chat? What do I get? Is it Abyssal Mask time?
it is Abyssal Mask. Abyssal Mask is one of the strongest items in the game if your team has any form of AP nowadays. Abyssal Mask effectively gives your entire team's Crit Bloom's pen
Get Jack Show?
if anyone in melee range. It's hugely, like, it's one of the strongest items in the game.
I'll go Mask. Alright. Well, we're not gonna be able to get Baron. We're a bit weak. Ooh, let me clear this wave mid.
So the second that Baron is up, I like to make sure it is warded in one way, shape, or form. It is pretty easy for champions to just go to Baron at 20 minutes. So he had enough money for a pink. I probably would have bought a pink. And then since mid is fighting, I probably would have been mid and not just farming my jungle. We're at the point where your team could definitely be taking your
Top
jungle
laners are
instead.
struggling.
And maybe your
Either
presence mid
heals
would have
or
won
do I
that
help our
fight.
Top laner get a lead.
There's been a lot of fights that he's definitely spent too much time farming. And while that is kind of the meta, like, which is funny, like in higher elo, this might work a little bit better because there's a little less like bullshit happening. He wins this. Yeah. I don't
What's going on?
he doesn't know about Anivia egg. Oh no. He still wins this. The burn gets her, yeah.
Okay.
I could not imagine trying to get into League this year. Like, so many champions. Like, it was 150 champions, 160. All with, like, 4 abilities and a passive. All with rune pages and what everything else does. Like, it must be so freaking confusing.
I back off. I have no fucking mana. I have no mana.
Let me give you a hug.
No, wait, I'm so close. I need 1,600, 200 more gold. Let me get this fucking turtle. What's going on? What's going on, y'all?
I really don't think he's playing that bad, although this game is kind of playing itself. I wish his team was a little bit more receptive to things that were going on and, like, aware. But again, no one's pinging, no one's taking the initiative. Sometimes you can herd
I'm gonna get my
your team into doing the right thing, other times they won't, but trying is the more important thing. Even if he's not confident on what he needs to be doing, he knows that dragon's important, so pinging dragon is huge.
And then let me grab the abyssal mask. Nice. All right, baby. We're doing good right now. So our Kali's very strong. I think what is strong, you continue to grow, right? It's like gardening. If you have a plant that's weak, you fucking forget about it and you let the other plants get strong.
So he's right. You never want to gank a lost lane, and if you can get strong off one of your laners being strong, that's good too. But he's saying this at 20 minutes. Normally that's a thought you say during laning phase. But it is a good thought. You strengthen up your weaknesses instead of trying to shore up your weaknesses if you can help it. He knows he's caught. Ping, ping, ping. You got it caught. You need a ping. Good job. He's kind of walking around a fight. I guess he's trying to catch Jarvan. I don't love it. He probably could be on that Vex earlier. Uh-oh, and now he's tower diving. Uh-oh.
A little bit of regret in my heart. Never mind.
Worked
Never
out.
mind.
Definitely worked
Good
out for
shit,
him.
Wrath. Let's get this fucking tower while we're at it, folks.
It's good. So anytime you get a kill, your thought should be, what can we get from this? What's
Reset
next?
for dragon? Sure.
Because then you have a man advantage. We gotta kill. What can we do? And if it's as simple as pushing a lane, that's still giving yourself an advantage. A lot of things in League, you have to think about, what do I lose if I do this? Or what do I make the enemy lose if I do this? It's not about what you gain, it's about what you lose. Or what you make your opponent lose. So yeah, you get a kill. What's next? Can we get a tower? Can we push a lane? How can we extend our lead? Or our short lead? It's kind of like a hat trick if you're thinking about hockey. Not a hat trick. Oh my god. Like
I'm not gonna apologize for it.
like a penalty or a power play.
I feel like back in the day, I used to play Gangplank, and I'd get Bramble Vest in Shiv something or other, and it would make my fucking buckshot act like some crazy shit. Guys, surely we just go dragon here.
He is right. Oh, there's still a fight mid and he has R. So in most elos, he's 100% correct. In Iron, maybe fighting there is just more important. Objectives do win at League. But
I think I used my
people don't like doing objectives in Iron and lower.
So I was hoping to be able to
Because to them, objectives don't do damage, their abilities do damage. And they just want to fight. They just want to fight all game.
Let's just stay in this bush.
So fighting here isn't awful. He just has to go now. Okay, you know what? It's a pretty decent play all in all.
Do that shit.
Ooh, and he hits the
Yeah, we
Q.
do that shit! Yeah! Yeah!
Even he's
I
hype.
got you, Akali!
Okay, you press Q on R, buddy. Like, I know it was hype, but, you know, you press Q on R.
Baron off that.
But no, that was a very good fight.
Okay,
So now,
Baron,
most teams would say, do Baron. Ezreal's down bot making a weird play. Can they still do Baron? Probably. That Vex is huge. Now the question is, does he know what to do with Baron?
1200, 1200, 1200. Focus up.
Again, he can E smite to do a little bit more damage, or Q smite to get a little more damage. But he got it. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So 90% of the time, when you get Baron, you want to recall immediately to link up with your team. And then you want to pick a lane or 2 lanes if you have a good split pusher and just use your Baron to your advantage.
I'm out of spots.
One of the worst things you can do is grab Baron
Many fucking wards. That's why I like Fiddlesticks.
and then dawdle around.
Like a really good.
What I'm assuming is exactly what he's going to
Those
do.
wards are actually some of the best in the game. Am I crazy?
They should be grouping 4-man mid and sending Akali top
Surely we just group and team.
or
fight.
bot. Both are. I actually don't know whether bot or top would be correct. So, past 12 minutes, the mid lane minions actually come faster than side wave minions. So pushing mid, you get the most amount of minions because you get more spawns of them. Now you want your other person in a side lane. Now, typically you send that person to the side lane where there's the most towers up. Yes. So, Riven goes top, everyone else goes mid. For one, if by chance that your top laner gets an inhibitor, that puts more pressure on that lane for the amount of time. So most of the time, going bot lane is correct because that will put pressure on the next Baron to spawn if you can't end. In this case, Dragon is spawning in about 3 minutes. So you want the person to go top so that if they get that inhibitor top and they force more pressure top, so that you guys can hopefully have numbers advantage on Dragon. He's not wrong. They are very much ahead. If they do have just one good team fight, they can probably push an end. But what is he doing? He is farming his jungle. His team is way far ahead, and if his team gets engaged on and a numbers disadvantage, he probably loses. Getting that red isn't awful, because red, of course, is useful, but that red isn't going to win you the game. Grouping with your friends is what's going to win you the game. What did we say? They're going to fight, they're going to get caught,
Okay, that was kind of a throw.
and now, effectively, the Baron buff that is a huge advantage and a huge buff that you've gotten for your team is now moot. It doesn't matter anymore. At this point in the game, your job needs to think about, what do I need to do? What do we need to secure so we can end this game? Is some of that Iron players, and even like just lower level players in general, have a very hard time understanding. And I know sometimes players don't always have great games, so they don't want to end games that they're doing well.
Bro,
It's like a Call of Duty lobby where you're somehow 50-0 trying to get your nuke. It's like, that's not how League works. At the end of the day, your KDA is not really important in League as long as you win. Feeding isn't great, obviously, but winning is the most important thing. Yeah, I definitely think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of looking for fights at this point in the game. Honestly, past 20 minutes, your laners probably should be taking some of your camps.
Akali, you're solo again. Akali,
And you're a
that's
big
crazy.
team fight champ, so you
Akali,
should be
that's
looking to team
crazy.
fight. But
That's
yes,
am I-
Akali
am I
is caught
smoking
again.
dick, or are they smoking dick? Because I genuinely cannot tell.
Kind of both. Kind of both. They are horribly caught. I don't know. Yeah, going for the cats, I guess, correct. That's a. I don't even need to flash it to get both those kills, but it was a nice R. Very nice max range Q. You guys got to rotate mid quick. Ping, 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 ping. Okay. Get a kill. What's next? Get a kill. What's next?
Okay, let's just push mid then, huh?
Now, Baron has run off, so they've done nothing with Baron. No, he's not bad with these kill shots.
Why are you trying to
He's
escape
not
me,
bad.
bro? Bro, I'm like that. Don't escape me.
Ah,
Really? No, we go in hib.
Is that
no?
soul?
We go
You
in
getting
for
hib
sure.
here? Definitely you getting hib.
We
You
go
could
in
probably
hib
get both,
100%.
if I'm honest. No, you're definitely getting hib here. Is that if it's soul? I think dragon's correct. If it's not soul, then inhib's correct. But I'm pretty sure. I think it's both. But nah, you go inhib.
Ludwig!
And hib helps you end the game. Woo!
I do this! I do this! Fuck yeah!
Moo does so much damage. What the hell?
Finish it now! Finish it! I do this for you, team!
Here comes Vex. That was soul. So getting both is correct. I
Alright,
feel
back
like
out now, back out
Lud
now. Low-key back out now.
Lud probably could have went to solo dragon. The rest of this team pushed mid.
Okay,
But-
what do I buy now, chat?
They ended up getting both, which is the most important thing.
Josh Show?
You go Jack Show.
Armor or magic resist? Is the team more AP or MP? Or
You could
AD?
even
Those
go
are
Rift
both.
Maker here if you wanted. If you want to move as fed as he is, you probably want to go Rift Maker here, but a lot of people wouldn't think of
Magic
that.
resist? Can I solo the fucking Baron? Or am I feeling myself too much?
Amumu, not really, but you can definitely duo it with your AD carry. You definitely want to get vision control of Baron here and do it as it spawns, and then force them to come fight you because your team's so much stronger. There's a lot more pinging now going on, which is interesting. Everyone seems to feel like they know how to end the game. Or they know what the next move is when they were not pinging to begin with. That's a Vex! You can R Vex mid-air. Of course, there's no way for him to know that, but... Ooh.
Bro. Fuck your walls. Alright, it's GG. It's GG, folks. It's GG.
35 minutes is still a very long game time. Like, very long.
Uh-oh.
He's surprisingly good at knowing how big his R range is for someone who has not played a lot of League. Because that was like almost max range. Yeah, I think this was a pretty short and iron. Yeah, I guess you're right. I really think he played pretty well at the end of the day.
So big, bro. I just in my fucking back.
Yeah, I do think he played pretty well all in all. He definitely needs to practice his early clear. You can do that in practice tool and change his freaking UI size so he can actually see what's going on. Get off of locked camera if you can help it. But I think he did a pretty good job, honestly. Obviously he didn't do too well. I think when the stream ended, he was something like 3 and 5. So obviously there's something wrong. But at least in that game, he did a pretty good job. So I really just think he needs more time playing. League is a super hard game to actively teach because there's so much nuance and so much like uniqueness in each game. But I think he did a pretty good job. He just needs to work on his clear, be more decisive with endgame fights, probably look to fight a little bit more in games like that, and look to end the game faster. I know it's not helpful when your teammates are iron. Oh, and he has to ping a lot more. Ping a lot more, click a lot more, click closer to your champion. Super generic tips, but he's a gamer, and I think he did a pretty good job. Okie dokie. Let's go ahead. Throw some music on. And I think we're going to queue up for some ranks. I think Jade is in game, so maybe we wait for Jade to get out of game. But yeah, his interface is huge. You should have your interface close to 0 as possible. Like, turn your HUD to 0. This does not give you anything useful. You should never be clicking here, maybe besides your items. Keep it small. Minimap. You can make your map huge.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
You can make it huge, and you can play like this. That's perfectly fine. If you're going to have a UI element that's huge, your minimap is a better one to do it at. Don't have it tiny.
Until minions spawn.
It's like making your mirror. It's like having a bigger, like, rear, like, backup camera in your fucking car. No one's gonna complain about it. Yeah, let's see how fast I can get a Momo clear down. So I always start chickens when I do a Momo.
Minions have spawned.
Why chickens? Because every time you get hit, your E refreshes. Or it takes a second off of it, which means you can basically spam E to your heart's content. Always want to be moving to your next camp when possible. And you want to kill it with its patience bar, so you're closer to your next camp. He won't move if he's attacking, so you have to wait until his attack is ended for you to move. Always want to smite your camps. Level up your... Actually, I won't level that up, because I can't. For some reason, I thought I could Q over the wall. I hit level 3, but I'm nowhere near that. Now, I screwed up. You want to save your E so that you can kill all of your Krugs, your little Krugs at once. But, oh well. Not the end of the world. Turn off your W when you're walking. Max range Q to the big one if you can. It's always going to have the most health. So more damage to it's always better. Don't waste your Q. Save it for the next one. Now, I'm not going to smite this because you shouldn't smite your camps. Like, you should keep one smite up for Scuttle. Let your thing tick it over. So, no leash, 335, which is actually really slow. But no leash. And I'm not supposed to grab the pot anymore. I keep forgetting. You don't grab the pot so you can get a pickaxe or a Faded Ashes when you're finished. Yeah, definitely not the fastest clear. I'm curious what Lud ended at, but good job, fucking Fizzbot. One thing I didn't see Lud do at all is, like, orb walk. So I'm sure everyone here knows what orb walking is, but I don't know if he does. But, you know, where is my dummy? You get people to practice by putting them on one side, and you want them to go to the other side without missing an auto attack. And all the way back around. And this is like the basic of League. Like, if you can't do this, you're not going to get anywhere. You need to be able to attack and while moving effectively. If you're just going to sit here and play RuneScape, you should just go play RuneScape. Then you need to practice. Every single league champion has like an attack animation that you can cancel the back half of it. I know you're not familiar with like Call of Duty, but Call of Duty, when you reload, about halfway through the animation, your gun actually is fully reloaded. It just needs to finish the animation before you can shoot again. But you can cancel that animation by sprinting. So you sprint cancel your reloads all the time. This is effectively that, but you do it 10,000 times a game. So if I'm chasing this scuttle and I just click once, I have a very hard time like actively keeping up with it. But let it reset some HP. And you auto move, you can keep up with it so much better. And this happens with champions. And this is even like ×3 on ranged champions. So it's like, you know, or we used to call it orb walking. I don't know, is it still called orb walking? I feel like it's changed its name. Like, I think we just call it kiting now. But it's like a basic of League. To know like how much auto attack your champion has. Like your auto attack animation, be able to cancel it so you can walk with it. I think it was Zyra that had like the best example of it. I don't know if I have Zyra in this account. I don't have Zyra. Who else is an awful auto attack? Like Heimerdinger is an awful one. I've been getting a lot of random people adding me on Discord, and it's kind of worrying me. I don't know. There's no reason people should be adding me. I just don't get it.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Minions have spawned. 30 seconds until minions spawn.
But like Heimer's auto is awful. You will always stay so much further behind the scuttle. Or anything that's moving. Instead of being able to like keep up with it and potentially pass it. Like I'm actively gaining space on scuttle instead of losing. Just super important like skill to have in League. And what's even harder is being able to modulate this with like your attack speed. Because like I can attack and I can walk over here and try and attack immediately and I will have to wait to attack. But being able to do this without waiting to attack is like, it's a skill a lot of League players have, but it's still hard to learn. But yeah. There's a lot of things you can do in this game, especially if you're a jungler, that you can do in practice with a practice, that you don't need to waste like, your own time and other players' time. If you want to be a jungle one trick, you should be able to do your, like, you should be able to be within seconds of your fastest jungle clear, like, option in practice duel. Okay, we're just waiting for Jay to get over freaking ARM. It doesn't mean in-game it'll work. Yes, it will. What if they invade you? Then that's something you have to kind of account for. You can ward for it. You can be aware that like if you are on your top side and top and mid are missing and your team is pushed in, that there's a good chance they're going to be there. It's the biggest reason why I don't ever say you should start sweeper when you're jungling. I think you should keep your ward when you jungle so that you have some safety and you can ping your team. Be like, hey, idiots, they're here. Like right now in the meta, ganking is almost like bad. The more it depends. If I'm honest, I think starting topside is better 99% of the time. Because after your second clear, you're in front of Dragon, which is probably spawned. But you only go bottom top if your top lane is a super volatile lane that needs your input for your teammate not to lose. So think like, honestly, anything into Darius. If your opponent has Darius, you need to be pathing top. We used to start bot almost automatically because you needed to get a leash. Nowadays, if you beg for a leash, you're kind of griefing your team. Your laner needs to be in lane first to get prio so that they don't lose level 2 push and get pushed in. And against certain champions, especially like Nilla, you need to be in lane to keep her off the wave. So if the enemy has a Nilla, you cannot leash, no matter what.